What's up, everybody? I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And you're listening to a suddenly hot episode of Liquid Carnage. We've been saying it's been cool, but summer showed up as soon as the calendar hit June 1st. I
know. It changed all of a sudden here, too.
It was nice. We were in the low 70s, the mid 70s, the low 80s. Then we're straight to 95.
I know. We're breaking 100 tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to be a busy week for us of hot weather.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I enjoy the summertime because with the summertime, it comes, pool parties, hiking, and all the fun stuff. So it's nice that the weather is finally warming up, but at the same time, make sure you don't leave your pets in your car. Make sure you hydrate, sunscreen, and hydrate. Drink some more water after that.
I will do so because I'm ready to get in the pool and chill this summer. So
that's right, because now you guys are an official homeowner. You're all moved in.
Yeah, we moved all that was down here in Phoenix in the house. So we are now officially moved in. We have to decide on some stuff up in Kingman, but other than that, we're official home.
Well, that's cool, man. Congratulations. How's it feel again?
It feels good. There's just a lot of work to be done, and now our part. That's always the thing that changes too is furniture and stuff that was great for a small apartment in a house. It's like, oh, I'm gonna want something different. Oh, I want to get rid of that and get rid of that. So
what our listeners don't know is that your beanbag chairs are going away finally.
Oh, the flower couch that has all those stains gone.
Yeah, gone. Noreen's making you take down all the posters. Actually, you're making Noreen take down all of her posters for framed family photos. That's very nice of you.
Yes, I know. I figure, but the note to you, buddy, is if for some reason Tom is filled at Casa de Kern in Phoenix,
his Airbnb kill room.
Yeah, the house is ready for you, buddy.
We appreciate that. And I think the intern JP and I will make an appearance down there here in the next little while, just for a baseball game, just kind of hang out because while he does have a pool up here, it's nice to always use someone else's pool.
Yeah, heck yeah, exactly. My
mantra is I don't need to have a boat or a pool. I just need to have a friend with a boat or a pool. Sometimes both.
That sounds good. Sounds good, man. How was your weekend?
Man, I tell you what, it was kind of busy. We did a gym pool party over at JP's. We were going to go to the lake, but with the weather being so Jekyll and Hyde, we didn't feel like the water would be warm enough. So we opted to go hang out by the pool. So we did that. We did some barbecuing. I made some killer fire roasted homemade salsa. Like, I'm really proud of this stuff. And even 3 days later, it was amazing.
Oh, wow. It does sound pretty good.
I even fire roasted the limes that I squeezed in there to get that little bit of a smoky lime juice. I'm onto something, man.
What do you call those kids that are they come out of the womb and they can already play like concerto piano? Savant. That's what you are, buddy. You're a savant. A cooking savant.
I've noticed I've been watching more and more Food Network.
Yeah.
I've always watched it, but I watched a lot of those list shows. I just look at that stuff. I was like, yeah, I could do that, but I put my own twists on it.
Yeah.
I watched one the other night, and this weekend I've got raw chicken wings sitting in hot sauce for the last 4 days, and I'm going to smoke them over the weekend, and then finish them off in my air fryer. That's pretty good.
Wow, and the good thing about doing all that is that when you do come down, you can just bring those with you, and then I'll eat it.
I could definitely do that.
Wow, that was a good idea.
It would be worthwhile, actually. When I come down, that'll be what I do for you guys. That'll be my penance for staying there.
Thanks.
I will cook for you guys.
I appreciate it, man. I'm ready now. Continue though. So you got the pool on Friday.
And then honestly, I just hung out. I did check out Aladdin over the weekend.
Oh.
And it made me think of you because I know you like to sing that Prince Ali song.
Yes.
And I have to give it credit, man. Will Smith took that role as Genie. He paid homage to Robin Williams, and then he made it his own.
Okay. Now, I don't know if I told you, but we actually went to the Broadway version of Aladdin when it went to ASU Gamage.
No.
And I think we've talked about it, that I was really concerned, like, how do you replace a cartoon genie with a human form? But the actor who played the genie in the play did such an amazing job that I thought, oh, this is very easy for Will Smith to do. So I'm glad that you think that he pulled it off.
Yeah, and I just think it was a fun movie. It was typical Disney taking a cartoon and making it into a live action movie. I'm sure The Lion King will be very similar this year, but I'll still go pay them my money to go see it. It was good. It was fun. It was enjoyable, and it made me feel like being a kid again. Because I looked back, and it came out like 1992.
Yeah.
So I think I was 11 years old when that came out. So
Holy cow! Wow.
yeah, yeah. So it's just neat that it just kind of took me back for a little while, and to see these characters, and just like the cartoon version, the live action Jasmine was hot.
Oh shit! Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
okay with that.
That's good. When did you go see that?
Oh, I can't remember. Sometime over the weekend. This past
Okay.
between this recording and our last recording, it all kind of blends together for me.
Yeah, that's true. We do get so wrapped up in life and stuff that sometimes we usually record before the actual Thursday release. So it might have that we didn't talk for almost 4 or 5 days. So
yeah, in that time though, I will say I will share some sad news, but also some bittersweet news. We have a lot of local listeners here and people that are from Kingman that still listen to the show. And a few years back, we had a little girl, Natalie Dawn, that was diagnosed with cancer, and I feel terrible for the family because this was a very aggressive form of cancer, and they treated it. They took it head on, and she went into remission. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, it came back. So, there's been constant updates for Natalie. There's been like in the family, like the whole town's really rallied behind this little girl. And last week, the family made the announcement that none of the treatments are working, and they've decided just to bring her home to enjoy being with family and being with loved ones. Because she was getting treatment back in, I think, Michigan, if I read everything.
Oh, man.
The program's back there. It's
Wow.
a very sad thing, but I was very impressed with the town. The city, for everything bad that people say about Kingman, I have never seen a town or been a part of a community that's been so generous when it matters. Within a matter of 24 hours last week, once they made that announcement, people rallied around and literally created a ticker tape parade in her honor for her to take her to a carnival that everybody put together for her so she could have one giant fun day.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I'm getting a little choked up to talk about it. And I'll admit I didn't participate, but I watched it all happen on Facebook, and it was just really cool to see that everyone is rallying behind this little girl. In fact, my workout today at the gym we did one in honor of her. So a lot of the local gyms came down and worked out in her honor and contributed to raffles and whatever else. But just the charity of community. I think people forget about that and how important that is in towns. And, I think once you move to a bigger city like Tempe, Scottsdale, Phoenix, that area, if you're not, you can lose that very easily because you get caught up in the 4 million people that live there.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there are probably lots of events and stuff that happen like that with groups, donating their time, making special things happen. But you're right. They get kind of washed away with the big city as not as well known as if in a small community like what Kingman.
Yeah. And it just blew my mind, and it just made me feel good for what I do, because I do a lot of work. Well, I do a lot of charity work just for my job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And whatnot. And to see that I get jaded very easily about this stuff, and to see the entire community rally around her and do this for her as the family brings her home to enjoy her the time she has left. It made me feel good that I choose to stay here and fight to make this a better place, because it does show there's a lot of good here still.
Yeah, well, I think that's the one thing that has crossed my mind a couple times over the last month or two is, it seems like we in society, whether it's through social media or news or just in general, we seem to focus so much on happen, like anything you can think of, we focus on those bad things, and yet there's a lot of people out there who do amazing things that come from all walks of life that we have to remember that that there's more good than bad, even though it doesn't seem like it sometimes, even though it doesn't, show as intriguing or as appealing as the bad stuff that goes on in the news. There's a lot of good, and to
Yeah.
hear Kingman kind of step up and do that, it's a reminder that there is a lot of good going on. So I'm really happy that you told that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it just something makes me proud. It's a very dire situation, and something that I hope nobody should ever have to go through. But the unfortunate facts of life is that people have to go through this, and it shows the kind of support a community can have, and the kind of support system you can create and build, just by going out and befriending people and being nice to people and saying hello and giving that positive thought and doing those acts of kindness throughout the day.
Scott, was it you that told me the stat that 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 Americans are directly related or somehow closely related to someone who has cancer?
I believe it was.
So when you think about it, I think that it's easy for people to rally around this story. One, because of the age of the patient, or the cancer survivor at this point, but her story, her age. But two, when you talk about a number like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people are directly affected by cancer, it's something that everybody can relate to, and everyone would hope that a community would step up in the same way, under the same circumstances.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's why everyone was eager and willing, and let's do this. I mean, and think about what your gyms, we're going to do this anyways. So if we're going to do it, let's do it for a purpose other than just ourselves. And that's heartwarming. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was cool to walk into that gym and see people that I haven't seen in a long time, come together and do this. And it wasn't anything about vanity. It was just about showing support. It was a little way of showing support. And she might not ever know that we did this, but it doesn't matter, because at least like her family knows that we put the effort out there just to let her know that people care about her, and they're trying to do things in her honor and to honor her spirit. Because if anyone's ever seen the pictures of her online, she's always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen a picture of her not smiling. She's just, even going through the worst of the stuff, she was a very happy, positive little girl. So it's just nice to see that people are seeing that and paying homage to that.
And not to bring up the past and take off the important topic that you're talking about, but this is bringing me back to Tracy. Remember the Tracy episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you met that woman who was dealing with, for those of you who may not have listened to it, it's one of our top 10 listened to episodes on Liquid Carnage. And it was basically a story of Scott, traveling up to Williams with some friends for just a kind of a weekend getaway, have some fun. And they met this woman named Tracy, who basically was, and you can tell it better than me if you want to take over from here, but basically she was a single woman traveling across country, but dealing with some really bad health issues.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it was. Is Jeff and our friends Jeff and Sammy and myself were at the Canyon Club one night hanging out, and this lady was sitting by herself, and she came up to us and said that we're having such a good time. She wanted to know if she could have a drink with us. And we said, yeah. And we did introductions, and we asked her brought out to Williams. And she just very, as a matter of fact, said that she has terminal cancer, and she was basically driving across country to die. And she's on a bucket list road trip. So she wanted to see if she could have a drink with us and dance with Jeff. And it was a very surreal night. It was a very sobering night. But it was a good life lesson, and one that's good to go back and listen to every so often, to remember that life is short no matter what, and you have to take advantage of the opportunities you have and be appreciative of the people that are around you in this world.
And let's be honest, I mean, you guys were going to have a good time whether you met this woman or not, and yet that little extra sense of just, I don't want to say selflessness, but just that extra sense to open your doors to let her into your guys' little circle probably meant just as much as this carnival and this parade meant for this little girl.
Absolutely. It's just those little acts of kindness. You might not think that what you do makes a difference to somebody, but to somebody that might be the world. So it's just something to think about as we go off into our daily lives. We get so caught up in the day-to-day crap that we do, that get up, take a shower, go to work, go to the gym, make dinner, do this. We don't take time to stop and smell the roses, and stuff like this should make you appreciate that you need to stop and smell the roses.
My dad he was a believer that his life would needed to be in balance. And I remember as he was dying, he was kind of talking about this idea that, I lived my life and I lived it obviously for myself, but in Vietnam, I killed 7 people. And throughout my life, I always thought that my responsibility was to save at least 7 people to make my life in balance. And he started talking that, over his life, he had an opportunity to save 4 people's lives. I mean, directly save their lives. And I thought to myself, I've never killed anyone, I've never saved anyone, but his idea of balance was just like you said. It's more than just the daily routines of my life that I get up, I go to work, I do my things, that you have to look for those opportunities where you can have that impact to balance out maybe a time when you had maybe a bad impact on someone's life. So what an opportunity for this little girl to be able to take that with her for the rest of her days. I hope that she gets to count thousands and thousands of days. But it's a little that, what I mean? That give that little bit extra to give to someone that helps balance out someone's life.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something that, I wish more people would understand and take advantage of. It's not always about us. Sometimes it's about the greater good.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, I think people also forget the power, the impact that they have on people indirectly sometimes.
Yeah.
They
I agree 100%.
They don't know that, you hear these stories about the kids that go back at a 10-year class reunion, and, someone will pull someone aside and say, there was one day where I thought I was going to end my life, and you sat with me at the lunchroom, or you did something that they don't even remember doing, but it had that immediate impact on that person's life. And I think we forget that sometimes, that we do have an impact.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think people don't understand that their actions do impact other people. I mean, the smallest actions, the smallest hellos or thank yous, or just buying a cup of coffee can make the biggest difference.
What other areas do you think we make an impact we don't know? Because sometimes I work in a place where I don't have a direct contact with end users, but I'm always smiling when someone says, when someone is having an issue, I'm always like saying, hey, it's not your fault, don't worry, and at our company, they give you an opportunity to acknowledge someone who's done something above and beyond. And I've gotten a few of those where I just did my normal thing, but for that person, they were so frustrated with the computer that I helped them and it got them back going. Or I did it not with a typical, oh, what are you, stupid or something? You don't know how to do this. And how many times in a day, maybe it's not even directly like something where you save someone's life, but just giving them a smile or letting them talk about something that gets their mind off of something bad that's going on in their lives.
I think it happens more than people realize, and I'm working on a customer service program right now for one of my departments, and I was watching a video that the Cleveland Clinic actually put together for us, and it was or not for us, but something they have on YouTube, and it's a how everybody in their hospitals or their clinics affect those that are in the hospital, down to the maintenance man changing the light bulbs, down to the person putting the plates together in the cafeteria for the meals. You don't realize how much of an impact you're having on the people that are in their times of need.
Right.
And it's something that you might not think what you do is important, but even balancing the accounts in the accounting department keeps those doors open, keeps those lights on, and that's directly affecting that patient care.
So does the family have like the family of this little girl, do they have like donation websites, or do they have things like that for if people wanted to help them, with medical costs? Or
there's a GoFundMe on there that someone started for them, and it was I think north of $18,000 last I saw, and it was climbing. So it's been people have been giving $5 and $10 here and there, and it's been nice to watch and see that number climb for the family.
Yeah. I had a friend who had a terminal cancer, and last time I saw him was probably maybe 4 weeks before he finally passed. And I remember his family decided that they wanted to go on a vacation, do like a summer vacation kind of trip. So they went on a trip, and it meant the world, I think, to everyone in the family. It was kind of like, if we're going to have closure soon, let's have a closure and on a positive note, and
Yeah, let's do it on our turn.
On a positive memory, where we're not focusing on how sick you feel or how tired you feel, but oh gosh, remember the pretty sunset, or remember the activities that we went to. I think that when you're going through those kind of emotions, the trivial stuff in our lives kind of goes away really quick. It just goes away really quick. But they needed that moment to say, you know what, we've had a lot of negatives. Let's do something positive and just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's nice that the town stepped up and did this for them, because this is never an easy thing to go through. Even as an adult who's had that. I mean, both my parents are cancer survivors, and I don't think people give any fanfare, or as much fanfare, to adults that are affected with this disease. It's like, oh man, that sucks. If I can help, let me help. I'll wear the ribbon. I'll do whatever I can. But that's really kind of where it ends. They don't. When it's a little girl like this or a small child, that they haven't had a fair shake in life yet.
Yeah.
I mean, their life hasn't started, and this sucks. So if you can help it out, make her day a little bit brighter, and make it a little bit happier, and fuck yeah, man, it's 10 minutes out of my day. Why can't I go stand in that corner and wave at her in the fire truck? Why can't we do this for her? It's those things that make a difference, and it's karma too. It's good karma. It's for the greater good.
Well, a lot of people believe in positive energy. It's like it's not just a word, but it's actually a feeling, or it's an object that when you send positive energy out in the world, it comes back to you. Have you ever heard? I mean, I don't know if you heard that. I've heard that, people say, yeah, that's why I do positive things, because, positive energy goes out, and it's like it comes back, and it gets absorbed by other people. So, I'm sure that if she felt the whole town giving her positive energy, maybe that extends her strength and extends her ability to fight. And that's really cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, just something I just felt like that it was something we could talk about and make more people aware of. And it's, normally we talk about something bubbly or something more political or current events, but I think every so often it's good for us to get an understanding of some other things going on in the world, and I give us a great plug right now on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Liquid Carnage, but I've got nothing really to say except, don't worry about plugging us this week. Show some support to somebody. Do something nice. You don't have to tell anybody what you did. Just go out and pay it forward. Put some positive karma in the world. And that's it, man. You don't even have to hit us up this week. Just go out and do that. But I am going to start a contest on a happier note, because as we end up closing out the show, because we're going almost a half hour talking about this now. This time last year, a lot of people know my grandfather passed, and Tom, our EP's grandfather. He's our grandfather. We're brothers, for those that haven't put it together yet.
Yeah, the news alert, flash alert. Spoiler alert.
The EP is my brother. That's why he's so dickish to me on those posts. He thinks it makes us better. But we lost our grandpa last year, and we lost our grandma back in 2011. And they're from Ohio. So this September, or October, I should say, the first weekend of October, Tom and I are flying back to Cincinnati and Hamilton, where they're from. Some of their ashes in their old neighborhood, and go check out the Cardinals and Bengals that weekend because they will be playing in Cincinnati. That being said, if you want a chance to hang out and have a beer with us in Ohio, hit us up at liquid_EP on Instagram and Twitter, and tell us why you want to be in Cincinnati at that bar for that one night. I'll buy the rounds of some top shelf bourbon from Kentucky if you come out to Cincinnati with us for that Saturday night and have some bourbon with Tom and I.
That is awesome. I'm so glad you guys are doing that, because you guys had talked about it last year too. So I'm so glad that you guys are putting that out there.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where we wanted to do it last year, but just life got in the way. And then this year, it just so happens Arizona's playing out there for football. We're both big football fans, and we were really hoping that it was going to be opening weekend. You're playing the Reds over there, and both my grandparents grew up being part of the Knothole gang in Cincinnati, which is way back in the day at their first baseball field. They had little knotholes in the outfield fence, and kids would stand out there and watch the games. And my grandparents were those kids.
Jeez. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good Lord. Now you're dating things. Yeah. Well, it's too bad they're not playing out there at the same time.
Yeah. Had Arizona opened up against the Bengals opening weekend, it'd have been like they both have been at the same time. It would have been perfect. But you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
Well, Scott, you've brought so much positive energy to this week's episode that I really think that we, if you listen to this episode and you want to send some positive energy out, send it to your friends, send it to your family. I know we're not supposed to plug these kind of things, but I think it's just one more way to express just an admiration and a heartfelt prayer to this little girl who's dealing with a lot. Her family's dealing with a lot, but I think it's really good. I think it is a really good thing to plug that. Hey, send out the positive energy, because this has been a really positive episode.
I think so too. And I want to thank everyone for bearing with us on this. And I didn't want to make it sound preachy or anything. And it's just something I've been watching over Facebook for the past couple months. And it's a very sad thing, but just a very positive way that the community is rallying around her one more time and celebrating her and everything she's been able to do for us and just make us come together, So I think with that being said, Jason, why don't you just go ahead and take us out today?
All right. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Like I said, I really appreciate all of you for listening to us. And this episode especially just brought back some really good memories of Tracy. So thank you so much for listening to us. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some liquid courage.